guys, it's Madame Wario, and welcome to my final episode in my How to Make Let's Plays series. About a month ago, you pimps submitted your questions regarding how to make Let's Plays and anything I covered throughout the series that you wanted more information on or anything that I didn't cover at all. So, it's been a hectic month. There's been PAX East, school finals, I had a dance production that I directed and performed in, and then, of course, just keeping up with regular channel stuff. It's been kind of a hectic month, so this is literally the first chance I got to answer these questions, so I apologize for the late update, but it's finally here. Now that summer's here, this is the first thing I want to get done. So, also, before I begin answering questions, I want to thank every single one of you pimps who submitted a question and apologize to anyone whose question I do not answer, simply because I received nearly 200 questions and I really want to keep this video, around 20 minutes. I don't want to go on for like an hour. And I probably will be skipping over any questions in regards to things I have already talked about or questions I have already answered. So, anyway, we're going to begin with the first question, which comes from CrywolfML, and that's something else. I apologize if I pronounced your name wrong, but I don't think I pronounced this one wrong. Who asks, what is the process of becoming partnered? This is probably not a question that can have a straightforward answer. Basically, what I would say is if you follow any of the advice I've given so far, just with being reliable as a channel host, posting videos often, making sure they're good quality, and just really focusing on whatever aspect you're going for as far as, approach with your videos. And basically just by networking, I know that sounds lame, but it's extremely, extremely important and very true. But basically, if you just do everything in your power that you can do to make good videos that you are satisfied with and that you have satisfied an audience with, that will cause you to gain an audience, which is a big part of being partnered. A lot of companies require a minimum amount of subscribers to become partnered, but please do not let that discourage you ever. It kind of depends. And what I would say is if you're really interested in a specific company in general that gives out partnerships, research them, look at what they have to offer, look at the information they're putting out there for you. It never hurts to ask questions, but before you ask questions, I would do every bit of research that I possibly could, just so you know enough on your own. And just put yourself out there, I guess, in that regard. And in a lot of cases, I know this happened with me, and a lot of people that I know, this is the case. Most companies will come to you and will ask you after a certain point. It just, it's kind of just putting yourself out there in all that. And basically following any of the advice I've given should lead you down that path. And, in that case, check your inbox. But, yeah, like I said, there's really no straightforward answer with this question. I wish there was, along with the rest of the world, probably. But, it's just one of those things where there is no one path to getting that. So, keep that in mind, and that's about the best I can do at answering that question. Long Shot Luigi asks, what is your opinion on video length, and how long should each video last? I usually try to keep my videos at 15 minutes. I'm not always the happiest person on the planet when my videos go to 20 minutes. And I really start to get annoyed when my videos reach 30 minutes. Not because I'm recording, but because I know that's kind of a long time for people to have to sit out each day and watch. Even if you want to, I know that if you're following multiple people at a time, think of if you're following 4 people at a time and every single one of them has a 30-minute video every day. That's 2 hours out of your day, and it's more inconvenient, I guess. So I would advise, 15 to 20 minutes. 10 minutes is not a bad length if it's just your video can be short. If you're doing like a short project, that's not an issue. But I would seriously keep it 15 to 20 minutes in most cases just because that's easier to manage. Because you have to think in a bigger spectrum than just, oh, they're going to watch my videos and that's it. Like, I kind of like to try and make things convenient for my audience and encourage them to watch other people that do the same thing that I do too, because it's all part of your network and it's all part of working with the community. So I don't like to discourage my audience from watching others either. That's kind of why I keep my video length small in some regards. Some people are like, no, I want you to make over 20-minute long videos. And I'm like, I know, but I think of how I watch videos and like how much time I have to dedicate to that. And if every single person posts a half an hour, 20-minute, 30-minute video, I'm like, oh, maybe I'll watch that tomorrow, and then a week goes by, and then I'm way behind. So I don't know. That's kind of more of a personal thing, but that's what I would advise personally, if you're asking just my opinion. Okay, so the Mario 6707 asks, how long does it take to make a video if using your method of making Let's Plays? Usually I like to go by this because this is a really good example. If you're talking about recording, editing, and publishing to your computer, for the past 2 years, I've made an Animal Crossing video like every single day of the summer, like Sunday through Saturday, like every single day. I had to record that. And that typically, for just the one episode, I would typically record like 15 to 20 minutes last year. So, that's your recording. Preparation time is like not long at all, like 2 minutes. And editing time and publishing time takes a little bit longer. So I would say it took me about 45 minutes to an hour every day to get that one video like completely done and ready to be posted to YouTube. That's just me. It's probably a little bit different again for other people, but that's about how long it took me to get one 20-minute video recorded, edited, and published to my computer to the point where I could upload it. So you're looking at like 45 minutes to an hour a day, just on like fully completing one video, I guess you could say, if it's 20 minutes long. If it's less time, no, it wouldn't take that long. And if you do a recording session of more than one episode at a time, you could probably get like 3 videos out in like 2 hours, literally. So, it just kind of depends. Again, okay, let's see. Ash90 Trend Kill. Yes, okay. Ask, do you have any advice for 2 friends wanting to do a co-op channel? I guess my only advice would be that I would try and make clear what exactly your schedule is. Because I know just the co-op I've done with Slim Kirby, the Madam and Slim's arcade, that it gets to the point where it's like, oh my god, when are we going to get together to record this, because this is like super inconvenient with my schedule right now. And then we have, our viewers asking, where is this video? Why have you not posted anything? And it's kind of like, well, we can only handle 1 video a month, barely. So, I mean, any advice I would give is just know each other's schedule and don't try to like aim for more than you can handle, I guess. And I guess it's just really about working together and understanding that you have to work together in that regard. Anything on a team is like that, but scheduling is just a big deal. And when I say that, I mean just like scheduling recordings even, so that your audience is not like, what in the world is going on? So, yeah. And in a lot of cases like that, I would say don't be afraid to say, oh, we're not going to have a video today, just because it is inconvenient in a lot of ways. In some circumstances. I mean, you can't control what's happening around you all the time. So that's what I would say to that. Sonic Master 211 asks, will camcorders be okay to use to make LP videos? I would highly advise you not to do that. I would highly advise you to invest in the equipment to make like good quality Let's Plays. I know that a huge part of Let's Playing is obviously commentary and, stuff like that, but it's just people do want to watch. I just know for myself that I really want to see the game too and hear the music and like have good picture. So I'm like, oh yeah, I remember this part, or I love this part, or oh my god, I hated doing this. I never want to do this again. While you're watching, so you're kind of enabling your audience to have like a personal experience with it as well. And I feel like camcorder LPs take away from that. It's not really a great way to start out, especially with how many people that make LPs that use, the proper equipment, I guess you could say. Of course, I know several of my friends started out with camcorders, which I'd say that's fine for kind of practicing, but there's going to be a point where, yeah, you're definitely going to need to upgrade. So, I mean, my personal advice would be to just invest in the equipment if you're really serious about making Let's Plays. If you're not really even sure that you want to do it, then yeah, you could try it out with a camcorder, but I would really advise for, someone to just use the equipment right away. So, um, yes. Let's see. Um, okay. Dublin Seafood Inc. asks, how much work do you put in every week to do your Let's Plays? The work can include recording, editing, okay, so all that stuff. Um, okay, let's see. It really depends on your upload schedule. Right now, I just had a project end, and I'm doing Pokemon Gold at the moment, which I'm updating 3 times a week. And I am thinking of upping that amount to like 4, possibly 5 times a week. I'm not sure. But yeah, I am currently doing that. So each of those videos is about 15 to 20 minutes. So you figure, you've got an hour to record, or you spend an hour just strictly on recording without any preparation or anything. And then editing takes about an hour and a half, I would say, just because publishing can take a really long time, and just making sure everything's correct. I guess an hour and a half at most. It usually takes about an hour just to publish the videos, though, just whatever. And I'm talking 3 videos when I say this. So you're looking at like, if you only make like 3 videos a week, you're looking at like, I don't know, probably 2 to 3 hours invested into that, which is not a long time. Um, and let me think. If you need to do like off screen, like I have to do off screen training for my Pokemon, obviously that takes longer, that can take hours too. But it just kind of depends. I mean, that is not a very heavy load for me right now just because I was handling that with school, which is why I'm upping it and why I usually do more than one project at once. But, it's not a massive amount of time, but you do have to set time aside for it just so you don't, get interrupted. So that's kind of, I guess that's my answer to that because that's about how long it takes me, I guess. Um, alright, let's see. Mr. Mario Sonic Man asks, what's recommended, doing co-op with someone from YouTube or with your friend? Either way, I would say there's no one way, one set answer. You could do either thing. Obviously, if you get 2 people who are known on YouTube together who are doing co-op together, that broadens your audience and more people are interested in that. But it can be just as interesting to introduce a friend in, so it's kind of your call. Okay, let's see. The Pikmin Lord asks, what is the most time-consuming part about making LPs? Editing? Definitely editing, yeah. So be prepared to edit and stare at your computer for longer than you want to on some really rough recording days. I should add that to the mix too. As far as time for editing and everything goes, there is going to be that point in time where you have several failed recordings in a row or something corrupted or you have to do something over. So when I say it takes like 2 to 3 hours, that's a smooth run. That is with no problems. So just keep that in mind. Slim Kirby asks, how good are my Let's Plays? They suck. Majestic Melodics, yes. Ask, what do you do if you don't have a mic? Could annotations work as well? I'm gonna say not. I'm gonna say no, just because people usually don't want to read that much. That's kind of like, unless you're like, oh, go in this door. This is door number. Let me think. What am I thinking of? I'm thinking of like that castle or the fortress in World 3 of Super Mario Bros. 3, where it's like, you need to go in the sixth door. Like, an annotation would work for that, but I wouldn't really bother with anything beyond that. If you're just wanting to do like nothing with commentary, you're looking at doing just playthroughs, which people are interested in as well. So I wouldn't worry about it. But yeah, I wouldn't use that many annotations like that. One stupid rat creature asks, is it necessary to self-advertise in order to receive a lot of subscribers? I'm going to say that there are the people out there that are like, oh, subscribe, like in every single one of their videos, and they like ask people to just subscribe all the time. They really advertise the subscribe button. I'm not one of those people who's ever really done that. I just thank people for subscribing. I don't really tell them to subscribe. Um, so it kind of goes either way. I know that it works for some people, but I just don't really want to. I don't want to be like, oh my god, you only count if you subscribe. Like, I appreciate just my viewers anyway. Um, but I would just say that, it's kind of whatever matches your personality. I know that's kind of a weird answer, but if you're not like this super pushy, like, you need to subscribe to me right now type of person, then it's going to be like awkward and kind of weird, and it's going to seem not genuine if you're like, subscribe to me. Like, I don't know. That's going to annoy people more than anything, I would think. Um, but, I always encourage people to subscribe just if they like what they see or if they're interested in following a series, just because it's easier with updates and everything. But I'm never like, you should just subscribe to me just so I have another subscriber. Like, that's kind of weird. Um, so yeah, that's my answer to that. Um, let's see. Okay, so Delphine. Oh my god, I should know how to read this word. Delfino Luma 102 asks, in your commentary, if being yourself means talking about something completely off topic from the video content, will that drive audience members away? Um, I'm gonna say no, because I do that all the time. Um, I mean, there are various kinds of audiences out there anyway. There's the kind of audience that just wants you to state stuff about the game and tell them how to do this and that's it. And then there's the audience that, is more interested in that along with the entertainment aspect of it. Like, I always go off on fun story time, like, oh my god, I saw a dog today. Like, it's really stupid, but for whatever reason, it's fun to share those stories. So, and I don't think anybody, like, I never have a problem watching people when they go off topic and they're like, oh my god, this happened today. I always find that interesting, and that's usually, like, funny, and I don't know, I always like that when watching people, so I'm gonna say no. I don't think that will drive audience members away. It might, make a certain type of audience go, oh, I don't really want to watch you, but that's not a big deal because you're gonna run into that anyway. So yeah, being yourself is just doing whatever you feel comfortable doing with commentary. So yeah, that's exactly what I would do. Is if you want to go off topic, go for it. Okay. Um, Afro. Whoa. What? Afroassasanks? Yes. How do you feel about let's playing a more obscure game? Should you play a game that most people are prone to know before leading up to that game? This is actually a pretty good question. I would say just like when you first start out, um, I tend like this is something I did. I tended to go for the more familiar games off the bat, like at the start, just kind of like, oh, Mario Party, that's my favorite game. Let's play it. Um, and I did that and like Super Mario Bros. 3, and then I tried to mix in more obscure stuff. So yeah, I would do like maybe if you're just starting out, like your very first one, I would do a more recognizable game first, just because it gets the attention. Like a game that has a broader audience in general is going to bring a broader audience to you, versus a game that no one's ever heard of. Um, if no one's ever heard of you and no one's ever heard of the game, that's kind of a bad mix, in my opinion. But not long after I started, I did American Idol. Like, that is the stupidest game ever, but whatever. It's still, like, it's obscure, and most people would not pick that up. So, yeah, I would lead up to an obscure game just out of preference as a viewer, because that's going to help you with your audience. Okay, so Shermaster asks, do you think it's necessary for an LPer to 100% beat a game? I'm going to say absolutely not, because most of the time I don't 100% the game. If you remember me doing Let's Play Paper Mario, I was unable to figure out which the heck star pieces I missed, and I did not buy every single badge. So, like, yeah, I would beat the game. I would go from start to finish with the game. But as far as little stuff like that, like the weird little side item thingies, I don't think that's necessary because I don't really. It just depends on your play style. I don't typically play like that, like, I need to get every single thing leading up to the end. Usually I beat the game and then I do that after. I'm like, oh, let's try to do this now. Like, I don't worry about it during the first run. So, I mean, you're going to get the audience members out there that are like, well, you didn't 100%, you suck. But, like, I don't pay attention to those people because I feel like there are more people out there that don't care that much. Um, so, it just kind of depends on your style, but I don't think it's necessary by any means. It just depends on whatever you want to do, honestly. So, yeah. Mr. Man 4020 asks, is it ever considered okay for an LPer to cheat during the game? Um, Again, this is kind of the same thing. It depends on how you're playing the game. If you are doing a run of a game where you're going to show off a cheat or a glitch or something that you use that makes it easier for you, then, I mean, yeah, there are people out there that do that, and there are people out there that want to see that because they really don't care about the content of the game. They just want to beat it. Um, and, I try to show off, like, quick runs of ways to beat, like, classic games using warps. Like, that's something I did with Super Mario Bros. 3 and Super Mario Bros. 2. I was like, oh, I want to show off the warp zones because that's what I use every time I play, rather than let's go through every single stage and look at this, because I feel like most people do that. So I'm going to say, depending on your definition of cheat, yeah, it's just kind of whatever you want to do in that instance. Okay, so I'm approaching 23 minutes right now, so I need to start wrapping things up. So for the majority of the video, I'm going to answer the highest rated questions. Starting with, Shadow Mario 41 asks, how bad are Slim's Let's Plays? Really bad because they suck. Z Jeff asks, what tips do you have about audience participation with LPs? I love audience? No, I don't. I love audience participation with my LPs. I'm a person who really enjoys that because I feel like the audience gets the idea that they're more involved because, well, they are. But, yeah, I personally would recommend doing that just because it adds a little bit more to your videos than watch this. It's like, oh, give me your ideas for this. Let me do this for you. Let me show this off. Let me name this character this because you guys wanted me to. Like, that just makes your audience feel like they're more a part of your videos than simply just watching them from afar. And I really try to do that, like, I tried to do that a lot with Animal Crossing, just with the songs and everything. I really wanted to take requests, and, I mix in my own ideas too, obviously, but I really like to get that audience participation in there because it just makes everybody feel more involved, and then it adds a higher appreciation for the project. So my tips on that would just be to be open-minded about that and to utilize that as much as you want or is possible with a project. There are some projects you can't really do much about audience participation, but others you definitely can, and you can always ask for people to submit maybe topics for you to comment on or talk about in future videos. Blarg2556 asks, how should you react if a famous Let's Player comments/subs to you? Well, when I first started making my Let's Plays, my first subscriber was Slim Kirby, and he was also one of the first people to ever comment on my videos, along with Dark Minded Sith. So I was kind of blown away at the get go. Um, so I'm gonna say one thing I wouldn't do, even if you want to. This is such weird advice, but it's true. I wouldn't freak out, honestly. I wouldn't be like, oh my god, I can't believe it's you. Like, I know that's like what's going through your head. But when you do that, you kind of separate yourself from friendly conversation into fandom conversation, which is always like where people get mixed up. I don't know. That's like a really weird way to word it, but you put yourself, if you put them on a different level than you're not treating them the same as you would just a friend. So, I would just say, treat them like they're any other subscriber. And hopefully that means that you're treating them by saying thank you and I'm so glad that you love my videos. And, yeah, obviously you're probably going to put something in there like, I'm honored to have you watching because I've watched you for a long time or you've inspired me. But, you know, it's different to do that and it's different to like freak out and put them in a category where where they're unreachable to you. So honestly, that's how I would react. You should be treating them just like any other subscriber, and hopefully that means that you treat your subscribers very well. So that's kind of my advice there. Um, all right. Are there any other super high rated comments? Alright, it doesn't look like it, so I'm going to finish off this video with the final question that was asked on my How to Make Let's Plays video, a month ago. So here's the final question. How do you stay motivated to do Let's Plays? Honestly, you guys have no idea until you start doing it how much fun it is. And I never anticipated the friends I would make. I never anticipated how open-armed the community was, just like in accepting new people into it and really encouraging each other. And it's a great community, honestly, the LP community is. And it's awesome. That is your motivator right there and your audience. And there's so much love in LPing. There really is. That is my motivator right there. My audience, my friends. I love playing the games anyway because they're, so much fun to play, but it's always more fun to play a game with somebody, and especially when, hundreds to thousands of people are watching you, that's just icing on the cake. So that is your motivator. Once you start, you won't want to stop, probably. If it's something that you really want to do. So that is my final advice, and thank you guys so much for participating in this special and for being patient and allowing me a month's time to answer these questions, and just for being patient with me in general. But I really appreciate everyone's question. I apologize for not being able to answer every single question. But yeah, I'm pretty satisfied with how this special has turned out, and I hope that you guys find it helpful and useful as you begin making Let's Plays, or as you are starting out, or maybe you started a long time ago and are getting back into it. So, yeah, I hope this proved helpful. And I love you, pimps. Thanks for watching, and I just reached the milestone of 10,000 subscribers. This was my 9,000 subscriber special, so thank you again to the 1,000 people since then who have subscribed. I love you, pimps. You're fierce. Keep working it and work those LPs. Yeah, thanks for watching, guys. Peace out.